Part 3. The Secret Language of Wealth. Think about the last time you walked into a room full of strangers. Within seconds, without saying a single word, people had already formed an opinion about you. Not because they knew your name, not because they knew your job, not because they knew how much money you had, simply because they could see you. Humans have been doing this for thousands of years. Long before expensive watches, designer clothes, or luxury cars existed, our ancestors constantly searched for clues. Who was the strongest? Who was the leader? Who had the most resources? Who could be trusted? Those tiny signals helped people survive. And even though the world has changed, our brains haven't. We're still looking for signals. Only today, those signals look different. A tailored suit, a luxury handbag, a sports car, a penthouse apartment. They're not just objects, they're messages. Psychologists call this status signaling. It's the idea that people use visible possessions to communicate invisible qualities. Power, success, influence, security. Whether we realize it or not, our brains make these judgments almost instantly. Research has even shown that people displaying recognizable luxury brands are often treated differently. Others may assume they're more successful or more influential before a single conversation even begins. And that's why luxury brands don't just sell products. They sell perception. Think about it. A $50 watch and a $50,000 watch tell exactly the same time. A basic white t-shirt and a designer t-shirt serve exactly the same purpose. A Toyota and a Rolls-Royce will both get you to your destination. So why would anyone pay hundreds or even thousands of times more? Because they aren't buying function, they're buying meaning. They're buying identity. They're buying the story that object tells before they even open their mouth. But here's where things become truly fascinating. The richer people become, the less interested they often are in obvious luxury. At first, that sounds completely backwards. Shouldn't having more money mean buying even flashier things? That's what most people expect. But among the ultra-wealthy, a completely different trend begins to appear. Instead of louder luxury, they choose quieter luxury. It's called quiet luxury. No giant logos, no flashy branding, no need to announce their wealth to the entire world. Instead, they wear clothing that looks almost ordinary. A plain cashmere sweater, a perfectly tailored jacket, simple leather shoes. To most people, they look surprisingly average. But to someone inside that world, those choices speak volumes. It's almost like a private conversation, a language hidden in plain sight. You either recognize it or you don't. Think about Steve Jobs. Every presentation, the same black turtleneck, blue jeans, simple sneakers. At first glance, it looked repetitive, almost boring, but there was a reason. Every unnecessary decision had been removed. He didn't want to waste mental energy deciding what to wear. His focus stayed exactly where it mattered, building Apple. Then there's Mark Zuckerberg. The same gray t-shirt, the same hoodie, again and again. Many people joked that he dressed like a college student, but those simple shirts reportedly cost hundreds of dollars. The goal wasn't to impress strangers. The goal was simplicity, because once your success is no longer questioned, you stop feeling the need to prove it. That's one of the biggest psychological shifts wealth creates. People who are still chasing status often want everyone to notice them. People who already have status usually don't. In fact, many wealthy people intentionally avoid attracting unnecessary attention. Not because they can't afford luxury, because they don't need validation from it anymore. And that's when I realized something surprising. Luxury isn't always about showing poor people that you're rich. Sometimes it's about quietly signaling to other wealthy people. It's an exclusive language, a language built on subtle details: the fabric, the craftsmanship, the fit, the history behind a watch, the rarity of a handbag. Details that almost nobody notices except the people they're meant for. Suddenly, everything made sense. Luxury wasn't disappearing, it was evolving. The louder the money, the more attention it usually wants. The quieter the money, the more confidence it often has. But then I found something that completely destroyed even this theory. Because if wealthy people truly cared about status, there was one decision they should never make. And yet millions of them make it every single day. Researchers studied thousands of millionaires to find out what they actually drove. The answer wasn't Ferrari, it wasn't Lamborghini, it wasn't Bentley. In fact, the most common answer was so ordinary that it completely shattered one of the biggest myths about wealth. And once you hear it, you'll understand why looking rich and being rich are often complete opposites.